Hi guys, here we are with another video. So in this video we will be discussing on functions. In our previous video we discussed on void functions. In this video we will be taking another step towards functions. Okay, so our objective in this video is to write a function that takes a whole number and returns twice the number. So we have opened our .cpp file, and in here we have our basic C++ skeleton, and over here on line 3 we have our function declaration where we will declare our function, and on line 7 we will declare our function call or a call made to the function. Okay, for those of you who do not understand the C++ skeleton or the declaration and the call of the function, I recommend that you view the previous videos. Alright, so let's get started. So basically the question asks to write a function that takes a whole number and returns twice the number. So first step, we will ask the user to enter a number, and that number will be passed into a function whereby that function will calculate twice that amount, meaning that number times 2, and it will return the result back to the main, and from the main we will display it onto the screen. Okay, so let's do this. First we will ask the user to enter a number, right? So this is a simple concept. We have covered this in our previous videos. Std cout is to display something, right? So please enter a number. I am asking the user to enter a number. I'm asking the user to enter a number, and in return the user will enter a number and store it in a variable called num. Right now this is a variable name which I've just created, but I have not declared it yet, right? So I'll go ahead and declare it. Now the question states to write a function that takes a whole number and returns twice that number. So it's specifying that it is a whole number, right? So a whole number, we have different data types. We have int, we have double, we have string. Double are decimals, so they are not exactly whole numbers. So the whole number here would be int. So I would say int, and I would declare my num variable equals to 0. Now I have declared my num variable over here. Alright, now what we will do, the user has entered a number, and we will pass that number into a function. Which function? We have to declare that function. Now let's go ahead and declare that function. The question states whole number, so we will use data type as int. Okay, if it's stated on decimals, then we will use the data type as double. So in this case we will use data type as int. The name of our function could be maybe calc, short form for calculate. And in our previous video I discussed something about parameters, and I said we will be learning it later. Okay, so parameters basically is where you pass in this value into the function so it can calculate the amount and return it to the main. So when you're passing a particular variable into this function, okay, it needs to be accepted into the parameter. So I will declare a variable called int x. Okay, don't worry if this is going over your head. After the video I will do a quick walkthrough. Alright, so I have int calc, and as parameter I have accepted it as int x. Now what the question wants me to do is just twice that amount and return it to the main. So I will just do return x times 2. Return x times 2 and semicolon. Pretty simple, right? That is your function declaration. That is done. Now what we have to do is we have to create our function call. Now function call, we can state that since this value is returned over here, we can create another variable call answer equals to 0, and we state answer is equals to calc, and we pass in the value that the user has entered, which is num. Yes, so semicolon, and we will just display cout answer is okay. So I hope you guys have understood this, and I hope this compiles right now. Looks to be okay. Yes, it has compiled. Asks the user to enter a number. Let's say I enter 2. Sorry guys, it's the problem with my C++. Let me just run that one more time. Right, please enter a number. I enter 2, right? So if I enter 2, it prints out answer is 4. How do you do this? If you guys are confused, I will go over it once again. So now we started with our main part of the program. Okay, so first we ask the user to enter a number. The user has entered a number into this variable num, which we have declared on line 11. Okay, we have asked the user to enter number, value has been declared in variable num, which is the variable has been declared in line 11. After that, we have passed this value num into our function called calc. Where is the function declaration? It is over here. Function declaration is above the int main. Okay, so we have our data type of a function, which is int. We have the name of a function, which is calc, and we take in a parameter, one parameter, which is of type int and named variable x. Okay, so within our function it states to return x times 2. So what it's doing right now, it's taking a value. Okay, it's taking a value from the function and it is multiplying it by 2, and it is returning that value, is returning this value to the main. Okay, where in the main? To this variable called answer. Why? Example, I enter a number 5, it goes into my function here, calc 5. Okay, now we go into our function calc 5. Now 5 is x, so 5 times 2 is 10. It returns the value back to this function. Now this value which has been returned has to be stored in a variable, right? And that variable is answer, the value answer. So 5 times 2 is 10. The value 10 will be stored in variable answer. And on line 17 you can see that we are saying cout answer is ans. So in this case, if I've entered 5, then it will print answer is 10, and end line and return 0. I hope you guys have really understood this. Thank you so much for watching. I believe in the next videos we will be talking more about loops and a little bit more about functions. So thank you so much. See you next time.